remedy. Fresh out the pack, strap came with a lemon squeeze. I ain't pressed to have no hoes around me. But damn sure not broke hoes around me. I'm about a bag, little money doesn't wow me. Want the push at the resort.
What's good, everybody? Welcome to TalkSpicyHER. It's the lit one, Ritz, and I'm ready to talk my shit.
Hey y'all, it's Big Memphis. We got something special for y'all today. It's a little touchy, so
Trigger warning.
yeah.
Trigger warning. But so who do we have on today? I'll let you introduce yourself.
What's good, y'all? It's Queen Britney from Great Apes Cafe.
Yes, just listen to her voice, y'all.
Representing.
Little ASMR for you
Right.
today.
So nice and smooth.
So right, yeah.
You don't sound like a cackling coyote.
I've
like
always
us.
been good at de-escalating. You know? It's a gift. you
Yeah,
know?
definitely. So how
Happy
are
to
you?
be here. I am really well. Like
Good.
I am doing probably the best I've ever been in my life.
I love to hear that.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
doing
glad
well.
someone is.
Don't
I'm just
don't
kidding.
do that,
No.
bitch.
I'm kidding. We're fine.
Everything's okay. I promise.
We're great, actually. Anywho, you said it's,
So happy.
how good is it?
Let's just be real. Fuck
Yeah.
it. Let's
Yeah.
throw it out there.
Yeah, definitely. So we touched on it a little bit when I came onto your guys' podcast, and I think it's a topic that a lot of people have went through, but are either like too embarrassed or just don't want to talk about it or scared to talk about it. So I just wanted to talk about domestic violence, like educate people, share our stories, and just I don't know, be transparent about whatever situation because it could help somebody out of their situation. You know what I'm saying?
Every time. That's the whole purpose.
Message.
Right. That's it's be like it wasn't even about you.
Yeah,
Okay?
yeah.
It was about being a healer to somebody else.
Exactly.
Not paying it
Absolutely.
forward. So
Definitely. So where do we start? How do you even jump into that topic?
Right. I guess you start at the beginning. Like, shit, how did it start? Like, was there anything that you kind of had a feeling about in the beginning? Like, that's different, or something that's something I've not experienced before. Like,
okay, so my first relationship started at a very young age.
Okay.
I was 14 years old when I got into a relationship with my first two kids' father.
Okay.
So I really ain't no shit. Okay, like
You were a child
I
yourself.
knew nothing,
Yeah.
absolutely nothing. But I had already experienced a lot in life by that age, and I felt like I did,
Mhm.
So I really attached myself to him because he was a comfort. You know what I'm saying? Like he came in, he was giving me money, and he was buying me things and taking me places and showing me off, and it was easy for me to get attached to that because I was already experiencing like abandonment issues with my parents, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the thing is when it started, I probably was like, I was a freshman in high school when it kicked off.
You mean like getting physical?
Yes.
Okay.
Like when the domestic violence started,
Okay.
but I mean, and at that time,
You think you're just fighting your boyfriend.
right. Like I was not thinking nothing about those two words, domestic and violence. You know what I'm saying? Those words was not in my vocabulary on what was going on,
Right.
I mean, and because honestly, my mom had been in several domestic violence relationships before, a
Mhm.
few. And I had gotten into physical altercations with my mom's ex-husband over her. So
Wow.
it was very shocked. I was so shocked when it first happened because I trusted him so much. I did not expect him to put his hands on me, but it was familiar.
Right.
You
You've
know,
seen it before.
I had
My
seen it
mom
several
did
times.
this.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I
And
can
even though
handle
I
it.
hated it when she went through it, I justified it because I ain't never just let it slide.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Because you stood up for yourself.
so
is
to
that what
speak,
you're
not
saying?
the first time,
Okay.
but every time after that, because when it happened the first time, it's the shit not funny, y'all, but it's kind of funny. Like when I think about,
You can laugh at your pain.
I'm trying to tell you because I was only like 15,
Yeah.
and we was on my best friend's porch, which was his cousin, and I'm saying was because he has passed away at this point.
Okay.
But we were on his cousin's porch, but she was my best friend at the time, and still, and I can't remember why, like what happened. We were arguing about something. I honestly can't even remember what it was, but this nigga backhanded the shit out of me. I guess he felt like maybe I was talking back too much.
Talking reckless.
You know what I'm saying? And when he did it, like I stood there like
shocked, baffled,
completely fucking baffled. You know what I'm saying?
You couldn't react.
It just like I was in so much shock. So and then out of nowhere, my best friend just charges his ass and starts fucking beating the shit out of him outside. You know what I'm saying? So I couldn't react, but then it happened again, and when it happened again, and then again, like every time.
How long did it go on?
Ooh. And how often?
Well, we were together. He passed away when I was 25. So we were together for 11 and a half years.
Wow.
And it happened the full extent of the relationship?
Actually, it did. Once we had our children, it was not often at all. You know what I'm saying? It actually only happened a few times during that time.
Okay.
When the times when it was often was when ages like 15 to 20.
Mm-hmm.
Like in that 5-year span.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because I just couldn't be controlled.
Yeah. And when you say that, you mean with how you speak, with
any of it, with what I did, what I wore.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
so what made you stay? Like, how come you felt like you couldn't leave or didn't want to leave?
Well, initially, I tried to leave him the first time, like, the shit went down.
Mm-hmm.
But the way he kept, like, chasing me down, in my mind, I really thought that this was love.
Yeah.
Like, I was in a delusional state where I really believed, because this, like, prior to that, like, this was my everything.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So when it
How to
happened,
get you.
yeah. Like, I was already, and then look, is it anything I can't say on
No.
here? Okay, so
talk
first
spicy.
of all, like, sis, like, this nigga was dicking me down.
Oh.
Okay? Like, I'm trying to tell you. The first person to ever give me head, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was gone.
You come
like,
every time, nigga.
I was gone. Like, all he had to do was just pull up and we have sex and it was over. You know what I'm saying? That we was right back together, you know, at that young ass age.
That'll do it.
It's bad.
I was too young to be getting dick like that. Okay,
I'm not worthy.
I did not know what to do with that shit. I'm trying to tell you, like, I was so delusional. But then later, like, I started growing up.
Mm-hmm.
By the time I was 17, I was unruly.
Yeah.
You know, I was just already traumatized prior to that. And I started going through all that shit with him. And I really went numb and I was like savage.
I was going to say, do you feel like that made you angrier?
Absolutely.
Like, did that make you pipe up? Like,
what it did was disconnected me from my emotional self.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Bars.
That was it.
Yeah.
And that is enough.
Yeah.
You know, for you to not move in who you really are.
Right.
So at 17, I ain't give a fuck, bro. Like, I was outside.
Yeah.
And this nigga was not playing with me.
Yeah.
Okay, and I still ain't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I
was with the shits.
You gonna do it anyway?
I was with the shits, like, because like I said, I used to fight back. So it wasn't like he was just coming in and hitting me.
Oh
and that's how I kept justifying the shit. Like, nah, because he might put his hands on me, but bitch, I gets down.
Have you ever
know
thought
what I'm
about
saying?
like doing something bad? Like, you know what? I'm gonna do this next time he put his hands on me. Like, there was never no.
I'm gonna stab him.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I have given this nigga concussions. I hit him with a car and broke his leg. Like, I did a lot of shit to him.
Have you ever been like, okay, I understood y'all would argue and you would like fight back. Have you ever been the aggressor?
Absolutely. Because after a while, you gonna hit him before he hits you.
The abusee becomes,
you
the
know
victim
what's about
becomes
to
the
happen.
abuser.
You know what I'm saying? So
damn.
for me, it became like, let me go
swing
ahead
first, bitch.
and get off what I can real quick before we really get into it, you know, because if he hit me first, then like, because I'm not gonna lie, it really was a control thing, you know. And then when I became like 17 and I tried to leave, like he put a gun in my mouth.
God no.
Like, word up.
What were your thoughts at that moment? Did you think it was over?
What you mean?
Like, did you think he was
you were gonna die?
I ain't know. I felt like he could.
But you weren't.
I
Did you have a doubt that like, nah, he loved me too much?
I ain't give a fuck.
Like you felt
I wanted to die.
seriously? Ugh.
I was done.
And you were 17?
Mm-hmm.
God knows that's a crazy feeling.
Oh my God.
I
can't
gave
even
no
imagine.
fucks.
Not as a kid anyway.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
not saying it's justifiable to feel
Yeah.
like that as an adult, but
Right.
like a child to be like, fuck it, it's over. Like,
Couldn't
to,
imagine.
damn.
Like, do it.
Woo.
You know what I'm saying?
That gave me the
Like,
chills a little bit because that's crazy.
Right.
I ain't care. Like, I really wanted to die a lot.
Because you didn't think there was any other way out at that point, right?
It was because, like, I started experiencing abuse at a young age. Like, I was 8.
Violent?
Sexual.
Okay.
Oh,
Like, I had my grandmother's husband
wow.
when she had her first heart surgery, and she couldn't do nothing like get up, and like I had to take care of her at 8 years old. Like, I had to clean a hole out her chest at night and in the mornings before I went to school, and like it was kind of tough. And he started coming in my room at night when my grandma couldn't get up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it was crazy. So by the time I was 17, like aside from that, I had already went through a lot of things.
Yeah.
You know, like I had an uncle that was like belligerent, like drunk, and touched me thinking I was his girlfriend because we was like grouped up on the floor one night. And even though I know he didn't mean to do it, it still fucked me up because I was a very small girl.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Being touched in that manner at a certain age, like that shit freaks you out. Like that, you don't really know what to
terrifying.
Fucking...
It was terrifying for me.
Yeah.
And I feel like at that young age, it's crazy. I was very spiritual. Like without anybody telling me to be. Like my grandma took me to church and stuff, but it wasn't like on a church type thing.
Right.
It was like a personal thing. Like I used to see things. I used to like talk to people. You know what I'm saying? Like pray a lot. Like it was real crazy. But it was like it just disconnected me from that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Your spiritual self.
Yeah,
like
it did. It disconnected me.
It literally
from my higher
brought you
self.
down. Like
it did because
down.
it just was like I didn't feel protected.
Right.
You know, and I felt like maybe I deserved to go through the things I went through. You know, maybe in some kind of past life, I just did some horrible shit that I just had to. This was just my fucking life. Like,
did you ever tell anyone like this happened?
When you were
eventually, no, not when I. Well, it was exposed. So this is the crazy thing about it. It was exposed because I've been a writer my whole life too. So even at that age, I had a journal, and I used to write about it in my journal. And that's how I was venting and getting it out, was on paper. Like I used to write poems and stories and all kind of stuff, and journal about how I felt. And I was living with my grandma at the time, and I went to go visit family up north, and my mom was there, and she found my journal and she saw it. And I remember her and my grandma getting into it like real bad verbally. You know,
this is about the sexual abuse.
About the sexual abuse. But this was the crazy thing. So my dad was a real gangster. And my mom feared him so much that she sent me back just for him not to know that anything had happened. Now, he never touched me again after that. This was the crazy thing, right? So I don't know what was discussed, what went down between him and my grandma, what was said, but she didn't leave him, and I still had to live in the house with him. So even though once they found out I was never touched again by him, it was just
like
smack
under the rug.
It was a lot of things.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was abandonment.
Betrayal.
Like, it was like, y'all really put me in a situation where I felt the most uncomfortable to the point to where I had to disconnect from myself in order for me just to be okay.
Yeah.
Like, I was a little girl.
Yeah. Having to look at my...
I became a woman early.
Abuser every day.
Yeah,
like nothing happened.
Childhood left me early. Like I was never really like a child.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I never.
Crazy.
Yeah, so because of that, by the time I was 17, like I was already fucked. Like, bruh.
Yeah.
Whatever.
What else? What else you got?
Right. Did it take like him passing away for you to end it with him? Were you with him up until then?
Yes, absolutely. Like, not even being funny, but literally 30 days before he died, I had wanted to have a conversation with him. And I remember like talking between the island. Like he was on one side, I was on the other. We was in the kitchen. Because for years, he had another female that he was dealing with too. That I basically was forced to accept, you know, because bitch, if you leave me, I'm gonna kill you type shit. And I can't live without you, and like just crazy shit, like super crazy shit. And don't get me wrong, because he did a lot of good things, but as far as me and him, it just was not what I wanted. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
That doesn't justify his behavior in any way, shape, or form.
Like I was straight collateral damage to his trauma.
Oh,
you know?
Oh, for sure.
Straight collateral damage.
100%.
And I was already fucked up, so it did not help at all. Like it was just more layers to my bullshit that I had to work through. But it was. I had a conversation with him, and I was just like, I had planned that shit out so good, like I knew it was gonna work. You know what I'm saying?
The
like,
talk. I'm gonna sit him down. I'm
gonna say it like
serious.
this. Like, listen, I know you with Shorty. You know what I'm saying? Be with Shorty. Like, I'm okay with that. Like, you my best friend. I love you. You know what I'm saying?
Now you trying to let him down. So
yeah, like I'm like, we can co-parent. You know what I'm saying? Then you can take the kids over there with y'all. Like, I was laying the whole shit out.
We could be friends.
Yeah, like we can do this together. Like, it don't have to be a conflict, but I just don't want to do this with you no more. Girl, that nigga shocked the shit out of me because we hadn't gotten to it physically in a long time prior to that. And that nigga grabbed me by my throat
over across the island, thinking your ass was safe.
Definitely did, real quick, like
it's not funny,
like some Jason shit, okay, like real quick. Fuck. And I ain't fight back though. That was the crazy thing. Like I was just so tired. I just let him drag me to the car. Like this nigga threw me in the car, shut the door. I just sat there.
What do you want? What he
takes off. He started driving like super fast. Oh, God, and he says, if you ain't gonna be with me, we might as well both be dead.
That's crazy.
Girl, I looked at him. I was like, babe, I'm so sorry. Okay? Listen, let's talk about this. I be in my feelings. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to, I am so sorry. Like, because I'm like, bruh, I can't. You know what I'm saying? Like, we had 2 children. My baby was 17 months at that time when that happened. So I the shit lasted the whole time, girl. Like it was literally from beginning to the end. Like literally from beginning to the end.
Do you think you ever would have left? Honestly,
I do not think I would have ever been able to become the woman that I am today if he was still living now. Wow, absolutely not. He would not have allowed it.
Like resentment towards him or anything?
Not anymore.
You did?
I felt so much. Like, I mean, it was never a confusion thing about the position that I played in his life, but it wasn't about that. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted my life. Right. Like I was in prison.
Because you're living his life or what? Yeah, you're being...
You know what I'm saying? And I'm constantly in a conflict every day about the decisions I want to make for myself.
Damn. That's right.
That power was taken from me. Right. And to say, oh, you could have went to the police. You could have. Yeah. I could have. But the truth is that I wasn't trained to think in that way. You know what I'm saying? Like I grew up with parents that did street shit. And we never called the police. I never seen my mama call the police on nobody. Like, and if I was going through some shit, I'd call my mama and she was gonna show up with that heat.
Right.
Like she played no fucking games, So that just wasn't in my upbringing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. What role did your mom or family play when you and him were getting in domestic situations? What were you telling them every time?
They knew it was loud and live. Like, this nigga shot my car up outside of a nightclub one night, like, with me in it. You know what I'm saying? Because he thought another nigga was in the car with me. You know?
Wow.
And so I had to go home with my damn radiator blown, like, bullet holes all over my fucking car. You know what I'm
What
saying?
the
Like, you can't.
fuck is wrong with people?
Listen. That's why I said I never really questioned on if he would or would not kill me. Like, I
Right.
felt like that nigga would definitely kill me.
Word.
I just really feel like I've always been protected. Like,
Yeah.
like spiritually.
Yeah, that's
Like,
a
that's
good
the
thing.
only reason I survived a lot of shit. Because aside from the borderline life shit, like, I've been through other shit where I probably should have really been gone.
Right.
I never believed I would live to be 37 years old.
Wow, that's crazy.
I ain't really start believing in my life till like 5 years ago.
32.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Like, what was the switch to be like, yeah, okay, I got it.
Just really diving into me and
Yeah.
healing and learning who I was and connecting with myself emotionally.
Yeah.
You know,
That's a big deal.
my language changed. I used to speak deaf a lot. You know, I used to think it, but I experienced it. I lost a lot of people along the way. You know what I'm saying? And so I was just used to loss. So I really spoke in that vibration a lot. But once I began to heal and a lot things became important to me that weren't before, like words. And once I started changing the words that I was using and how I was speaking, like, I really opened myself up to a world that I didn't know existed before. You know, but it was just like changing my mind. But I really had to get alone. Like, leave the niggas alone for a while. Like, stop acting out of my hurt. You know what I'm saying? I had to just stop everything and just shut down,
right.
and feel my pain.
Now, I've never personally experienced this at all, like domestic violence or anybody even trying to put their hands on me. How do you feel like it's changed you now as a woman and how you date?
Well, I've never been the one nor the two. Okay? Like, I'm not gonna lie. I became super defensive after that. And I dealt with guys that I know for a fact they hit females before, but they didn't hit me. You like, I would never give that energy that it was ever okay that you was about to put your hands on me, because I'll go to the extreme.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if I don't feel like I can beat you, I got something that's gonna get you. You know, so it was just like, I became so masculine, y'all. Like, just
really
very
unfortunate.
aggressive. You know, like, I was super aggressive, like a lion all the time. You know what I'm saying? But I was still this loving, nice person. I just was triggered easily.
Very, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's PTSD.
Yeah, absolutely. At its
That
finest.
is definitely PTSD.
Yeah,
like,
at
that
its
shit
finest.
is crazy.
So yeah, that shit made me super aggressive for quite a while. And I was never really open to a commitment
That's crazy.
until, and I was even having babies. And I still was like,
Not ready or not willing.
I mean, no, they wasn't giving me what I needed to make me. I just think I didn't see what I needed. You know
I
what I'm
get that.
saying?
Yeah.
Like, I felt like I couldn't commit. You know?
Do you think that worked in your favor?
Absolutely. Hell yeah. I left some shit that I look back now like, ooh, girl, you did the right fucking thing.
Yeah.
Okay? Like, nah.
Yes.
Like, I had come out of the delusion of not being able to see people for who they were.
Yes.
So once I came out of that delusion, it was easy to be like, oh yeah, well, I fuck with you, but you ain't for me.
I know. Now
You
I
know
know
what
how
I'm
to
saying?
handle you. Now I know where to keep
like,
you.
you don't even gotta go that far.
You
know?
you definitely learn how to just deal with people and interact with people. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna give
It
you
took a few times.
everything. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But once I came to like awareness of me and what I wanted, like when I wasn't seeing what I wanted, I would did.
Yep.
And that's just what it was. And it was no hard feelings. Like, you know, I can't I would never commit or submit to a man that don't put me in a position to make me feel like he can lead me. Just was that
Absolutely.
simple.
Lead your ass off a fucking cliff.
Period.
Motherfucker, listen.
Right.
I'm only saying that because
Like you leading yourself off a cliff.
there
And you
was-
want me to follow you?
Right.
there was
The
a
fuck?
gentleman, I use that word lightly, talking about, first of all, this is the first red flag. Bitches don't know how to listen to when a man,
red
like, just talking crazy, but men don't understand that you have to show me that I can trust you
Exactly.
to believe in what you're telling me and to want to follow suit.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell am I? And your life is not together. Like, you're
Right.
making decisions that I would never make
Mhm.
on my bad day.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so, I don't know. I feel like there's a message in that to men as far as you. If a female's just going to listen to you and hop on for no reason, then
It don't just
it's
happen
going to
for-
crash and burn.
I mean, for one, you gotta know what kind of female you dealing with first.
It's gonna
You know
crash
what I'm
and
saying?
burn.
But at the end of the day, I just always tell people, like, just get into you.
Yes.
Like, if you
That's
don't
the
know,
biggest
just
thing.
get into you.
God,
Because you don't know the kind of woman that you want when you don't know who the fuck you are.
exactly.
Hello.
You know, so at the end of the
Yeah.
day, I don't know the kind of man I want until I know who the fuck I am. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's just the most valuable piece of
It
fucking advice.
is.
You gotta get into
It
you, like
is.
figure out who you are, what
I
your
just
purpose
learned
is
that.
in this life.
Yeah.
Like not what you do to make money.
Mhm.
Like what is your purpose for being here on this earth? Because when we're working in our purpose, like we feel good about ourselves. We project good. We treat ourselves good. We know
Absolutely.
we're valuable. And then guess what? They know how to treat a woman like that. They project well. They know she's valuable. They see her for who she is
Right.
outside of just what they do sexually. You know what
Absolutely.
I'm saying? So it's all a matter of just knowing who you are. You know, like
And
get into your
standing in
fucking
it
self.
and owning it.
Everybody.
Right.
Get into
Men,
your motherfucking
women,
self. Yeah.
For
what
real.
he, she, they, them.
Yeah.
It goes both ways.
Yeah.
It does.
Absolutely.
It does.
I just think, God, I don't know if it's because I'm been bigger than them. Like they scared of me.
Like the motherfuckers
No.
don't play with you.
I don't think they are.
I used to feel like that. Like, is it because I'm fucking short? They feel like they can just beat on me. Like,
Yeah.
this some bullshit, bro. I'm about to show you. My mom used to say I had Napoleon syndrome, like
Yeah.
real bad.
Which
I'm
lot
her shortest
of
kid.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, and I'm the oldest.
That be happening though. That's a real thing.
Yeah.
I learned that being a tall woman, I can
Yeah.
definitely tell a smaller man's energy opposed to, and then no shade because sometimes
Right.
they be stepping. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But anyways, you can tell when
Yeah.
somebody's smaller, their
Yeah.
bark is
Yeah.
crazy
Yeah.
for real.
No, it's like they're trying to overcompensate sometimes. But
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely that. I was always on defense mode though, so
Yeah.
like anything could treat me like, bitch, what you say?
Yeah.
You know,
I fought girls
So-
all the time, but I'm
Yeah.
like, boy,
I fought a lot of guys.
So
So-
your oldest children's father,
Mhm.
he's not the only abusive relationship you were in.
Nah, he's definitely the only
Okay.
physically
Okay.
abusive,
Okay.
domestic violence
Right.
abusive. Now
Right,
I done
right,
been
right.
through some other shit.
Oh, now verbal abuse,
Which is the
bitch.
thing
Yeah.
too, and we can just
Yeah.
roll
I
on
swear to
into that
goodness.
because
Oh yeah,
That-
like I
that-
left my baby
that's a
daddy
big
for
deal.
calling me a bitch.
Hey now.
yeah,
Like, that was it
you're
for
an
me.
all star.
Yeah.
But and people was looking at me like, bitch, that's all he did was call you.
That's
like,
enough.
bitch, what do you mean that's all? Like,
That's enough.
look at how he's looking at me.
Mm-hmm.
How I'm supposed to sleep in peace at night, and I know that he okay with just calling me out my fucking name and looking at me like I'm a bitch. That's not me.
Laying next to a man that
Right.
can feel
Right.
You know
like,
what I'm
are you gonna
saying?
disrespect
like,
me?
And me, like the who I am, like the type of time I be on now, like, and not even like really on no cocky shit because I am a very humble person.
Yeah.
But at the same time, bitch, I know who the fuck I am. Bitch,
Hello.
you who you think you talking to?
Mhm.
Like
All
what? I
right.
feel offended
Mm-hmm.
that you would even ever come out your mouth and disrespect me in that way.
And think it's okay.
And I
then-
have never done that to you. Like, nah. And I still didn't call him out his name.
right.
Get the fuck out of here.
Then try to
That was
gaslight
it.
you like you and your friends call each other. No,
I don't give a
no,
fuck. Not the same, sir.
That is not
Honestly,
the same.
if he would have called me a bitch when we was joking and laughing and playing, I probably wouldn't have been offended.
No,
Right.
I don't even care.
But
about
if
that.
we are in a heated
Yeah.
disagreement
yeah,
and you come out your mouth
mean
and
that.
call me a bitch, like that means that you got some shit you need to work on.
you,
and
you
I
can't
can't
control
fix it. Yeah.
your anger.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I can't fix that.
Mm-mm.
Like, and if I was probably still in that place, I probably would have been cool with it. But
Mm.
I am not I was out of that space already. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh yeah, nah.
But where do you think like the root of his, I guess, trauma or what have
All
you
of 'em's
came
childhood.
from?
All of 'em's childhood.
They'll never admit it. Mommy
Okay?
issues.
Well, I mean,
They'll-
I know the shit they went through.
No, but they won't admit it. Like they'll be like, "That shit
Oh
normal."
yeah,
That's
and this nigga got mad as fuck at me when I told him that I felt like he needed to heal some stuff with his mom. Like he was
Why?
pissed.
That should be. I mean, you obviously have some type of relationship with your
Bruh,
mom.
just
that's
knowing the
broken.
story, it was
Yeah.
evident. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mommies cause a lot of
it
trauma
was
to
so
their boys.
obvious. Like if you are
What's
not
wrong?
in the household with your mama growing
Yeah.
up, it's gonna be a problem. You know, like, and if you know,
Mom.
you know, like just me personally, because I got 4 children, but my first 3 are boys, and my daughter's only 18 months, so I can't really place on what it's gonna be like yet, but I feel everything energetically, and my relationship with her already feels different.
Mhm.
Like she feels like my little best friend for real. Like we connect differently. But my sons do not play about they mama. They love they mama. And they go to the damn listen, don't nobody ever have need to say nothing to me. Like I'm already protected, but my kids do not play about me. I have to keep them on the leash all the time.
I was so happy
you know?
when I found a boy. I had a
Right.
boy.
So just knowing that and then paying attention to other sons, how they be about they mamas. Like, nigga, if you wasn't with your mama, I'm sure you got some shit you need to work on. But you mad at me for saying like, bitch, I'm a bitch because I say you need to heal.
that is the first date question. How's your
Okay.
relationship with your mom?
Right,
Girl,
that's
and
the norm.
after that was when that awakening came to me, like, nah, because if this nigga ain't worked through his mommy issues yet, he is not for me.
Definitely.
Yeah.
That red flag.
Like I was passing niggas on like this.
red flag.
Nope, like
And
it just
that-
wasn't.
I think, in my opinion, I think mommy issues with men is a lot more severe than daddy issues with women.
Yes.
Because it shows its head very differently. It's more damaging in my opinion, when the boy is missing his mom.
Yes.
Just from what I've experienced.
You know what I think it
Yes.
is? You mind? Did I cut you off? Oh, okay, my bad. I really feel like it's because that men are not emotional naturally.
Yeah, I was just saying that
Right?
in my head.
So unless somebody teaches them how to process their feelings and
Yes.
communicate them, they don't know how to identify their traumas a lot of times until they get older, you know. So I feel like that's why it can be more detrimental to them because they can be experiencing something that's hurt, but they have pushed it down in themselves in a way that they've just made it okay and have not been able to honor how they really feel, you know, because it's not a thing that men naturally know how to do. You know, like little girls, they are emotional. Like my daughter is emotional, and then I look at her and I be laughing because I be like, shit, I be feeling just like that.
I get it.
Okay,
You hungry,
like, right, exactly. You tired, baby. Oh, I already know. You know, like we be like, no, because you made me mad and you made me sad and you made me cry or whatever. Like we know how to be like, this is how you made me feel.
Yeah.
But men are not taught to do that. And so it kind of robs them of being able to, if they go through some real traumatic shit as a kid, it sometimes can take a little longer if nobody's there to teach them.
And then in return, they hurt the people that they love.
Absolutely, because hurt people hurt people.
Yeah, but
it's
and then I feel like sometimes we make the excuse for them for that.
That's what I was gonna say. When because you said when they get older, then they can learn. But at what point in life do they take accountability for them trying to understand what their issues are? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because some niggas will be 50 like, I'm good.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and can never acknowledge that. Like what makes that man open to receiving help or healing, in your opinion?
In my opinion, just based off of my experience, I feel that not every man is going to be able to heal before they pass away. Like some people die in the same trauma that they lived in.
1000%.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
But I feel that if a man ever gets an opportunity to see himself in a way that he can grow to, and that can be in different things, you know, like it could be somebody that they meet, a coach, a mentor, a parent, or somebody, you know, in their life that say, hey, you this, you valuable, I know you made this mistake, or I know you whatever, but I still love you. Like, in my opinion, love is the healer of all things.
Yes. Of course.
So it's some people that are meant to help get an individual where they need to go, right? But at the end of the day, like, the man just either got to choose to want it or not. Because you can have the information and still not do shit with it.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? I know men that just choose to fucking not to. They just don't want to. They rather do it the fast way or be stuck in this way. Like, they just don't come to full identity of who they are.
Right.
You know? But then I know men. I have one. You know what I'm saying? That knows who he is. 3. You know, but my boyfriend, my person, like, he knows who he is.
Yeah.
So it's a lot easier for him to work through things, and even for us to work through things together, because he already knows who he is. So he's willing to do whatever it takes to work through whatever he needs to work through to grow and get to the next level. But he was already doing that before I met him. That's already who he was. So some people just ain't meant. I don't think it's on them. I think it's on us. Because if I see you and I know who you are.
When you say us, you just mean the people, or do you mean women?
I think whoever deals with them or chooses not to.
Okay.
Whether it's family or friends or girlfriends or whatever. Like, I done dealt with a lot of bullshit, you know. But it was me deciding that I just wasn't going to. Like, I was super okay with being alone until what I wanted came to me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So I think that I just know that some men choose and some men don't. I don't know why. It's just what it is. Shit, some women choose and some women don't.
Absolutely.
It's women that went through what I went through, and they went the opposite route.
Yeah.
They didn't like come into enlightenment and decide that they want to fix their lineage and become an entrepreneur and do all this extra great stuff in life. Like, they didn't go that way. And not to say that those things made me great, but healing gave me the ability to accomplish things.
Definitely.
You know, but they decided that, or didn't get exposed, or whatever the choice was. They stayed in their hurt. And they became parents that talk to their kids like shit. You know what I'm saying? That's okay with just being right here and
continuing the cycle.
Continuing the cycle. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I just think that we're just a world of yin and yang, and some people will and some people won't. But the most valuable way to be is to just be in alignment with you, so you can attract what's best for you.
Yeah.
Definitely.
The hardest work is self-work.
Yeah. Like, sure. you wanna heal, because I'm trying to tell you, like, my baby, my daughter's father, that nigga was all my trauma in human form. I'm trying to tell you, like, everything that I was dealing with emotionally.
So this isn't who you're with?
Hell no.
Okay.
Girl, I left him while I was pregnant.
Okay.
Okay. I don't play that shit. Like, once I started seeing, like, oh, it ain't
maybe you're
not,
not, bitch.
About this. Yeah, I told you. I was pregnant when he called me a bitch, and I was like, yep. But the funny thing was I had just had prayed. Yeah, like, what? I was not sad.
You just knew you was leaving.
I was cool.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
I actually became a Reiki practitioner during that pregnancy after all of that.
Do you still do that?
What? What?
I'll hit you up.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I work
What's
it.
that?
Reiki. It's like energy work.
Chakras.
Like opening up the chakras.
Okay.
I got my crystals and all that. Like,
Yeah,
I
girl,
want to get
I
into
stay
it.
strapped
You know
up.
what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
I stay strapped up. Absolutely. Like, anything
I started
to
wearing
the
them in my
earth,
bra,
honey.
man. What?
Oh,
Charging
yeah, that's
them
the
up?
best thing. That's the best thing.
Yeah.
Like, keeping them in your bra, like, for women. You know what I'm saying? Like, my kids, or like my boyfriend, even his son, like, carries them in a little bag in his pocket.
Yeah.
Everybody got their crystals. Like, everybody's strapped up. My
Yeah.
mama, my brother, my sister. I be buying crystals for
I'm
everybody.
I'm a fucking believer.
Yeah, but I know what works. But it is something that I believe in, because I've seen it change things in miraculous ways just by being connected to the earth. You know?
Yeah.
So
That's deep.
Get all deep.
Yeah, no, because I was like, I'm about to get off topic because that is such an interesting topic.
Yeah.
And I know somebody else that knows a lot about that, and I would love to have both of y'all back on here just because that is that's a great topic that I think a lot of people want to learn about, but don't really know where to start.
They're just not familiar.
You know what
it's
I'm
just
saying?
a lack of knowledge.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. And then being open-minded to other.
You know what's crazy is I ain't gonna say like I get everybody to, but I have yet run into someone and had a hard conversation with them and been able to explain it in them where they didn't get it. Like every time I've conversed with someone about it, they got it.
It's literally 2 + 2.
And I ain't care what their religion was.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I'm down for everybody.
It just makes sense.
Yeah.
It's science.
It's science. And so I used to be a avid Christian, and I know that shit down to the back of my hand. But I was able to connect the two to show people that the only thing that really creates division are the words that we use and how we choose to tell the story. But it is really all the same once you remove the manipulation out of it.
Yeah. I understand.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
No, it's just being able to connect to anybody, no matter what your belief is.
Right.
You have no choice but to believe in the earth because it's here.
Living
you know
on it,
how you
breathing
feel
it,
when that
smelling
breeze
it.
blow. You know how you feel when that sun's shining on your skin. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know how I feel when you put your feet in the sand in the ocean.
Shit hit a little
that
different.
is energy that you can't deny.
Yeah.
And the crystals are the same thing. They come from the earth. It's an energy you can't deny. You know, so I would love to talk more like.
Look, I'm looking like, what y'all talking about?
I love it.
I
love it.
you know, hear what y'all got to say.
Dive in.
Yeah. I'm like, what else?
All right.
But had I not gone through all the shit I went through, like with the whole domestic violence thing and all of that, I would have probably, I don't know. I probably would have took longer to be able to come to me. Like it was rapid. Like I don't feel like I'm old, but I don't feel like premature either.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like I still feel young at 37, but I feel a lot more wise.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying?
You'd
like,
be crazy not to have learned some lessons.
Yeah, like I
by
feel
now.
extremely wise
You know
for
what I'm
37
saying?
though.
Right. This is why when my little young friends be like, "Oh, I'm about to be 30," I'm like, "You'll love it here, baby."
Right.
Like,
I definitely,
oh
definitely
my
will.
God.
But the crazy thing is that I find that a lot of women that are a lot older than me have not yet been able to heal to get to this level of healing.
It's the generation.
So much work though.
It is.
It is like
You know?
I'm such a work in progress like right now. So like hearing you speak about like self-work and finding yourself, like that resonates so much with me because I know I'm on that journey like currently. So like I know the work is hard. It's harder than any work I've ever done in my life.
It is.
Like anything that I've ever done, like working on myself, admitting my faults, taking accountability for all the shit that I've done. Hardest thing ever. Like, but when you get to that point and you feel healed and you are sure of yourself, it's not a better feeling.
You know what it is? It's practice.
It is.
That's it.
Repetitive.
It's because, okay, in the beginning it's new. But shit, I done stayed consistent.
Yeah.
You know, I made the hard decisions. I cut people off I thought I would not be able to. I set boundaries I thought I could not.
Heavy on the boundaries, sir.
Right. So now, after you've been doing that shit for about a year or two, it get easier.
Yes.
You know, it's practice. Like anything that you, like I say all the time, like anything you feed grows.
Yeah.
It's just your choice on what you choose to feed.
Oh, fuck.
Hey.
Because look, no, I feel like Ashley, I always say friendship number 1 and friendship number 2. So I'm like, friendship number 1 was 6 years ago because we broke up.
Okay.
For years and we got back together. So I feel like friendship number 1, like Ashley was a different person, but now I feel like she's better. For
or y'all are back in alignment again.
I think she's changed for the good. Like I just see like differences in the from 1 to 2, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But do you like what changed? You feel like for you? Because I hear y'all talking about crystals and all this. Like, did you like how were you the first time? Like, did you? Because we don't talk about religion or Christianity or anything. So like, we literally know. I mean, she knows that I'm a Christian and she knows that I love God. But other than that,
and
like,
she knows that I'm the opposite or whatever.
Yeah, we don't even talk about it. Like when I do speak, like I talk about God and I talk about how I heal and how I pray and all that. And but Ashley doesn't talk about like she doesn't really talk about anything spiritual or. I know that she's spiritual, but she doesn't talk about it a lot. But I guess my question is, did you feel like, were you connected to God or anything? Because we never talked about anything then. Like, what happened that this switch came on and you were like, I want, like, even with friendship, because you were so against, like, forgiving people and reconnecting into now this space. I know you said, like, with your granddaddy and all that, but, like, did you become, like, more spiritual, like, through, like, I know you wear your necklace and that obviously means something. Like, what shifted?
So there wasn't really a shift. I didn't grow up religious or anything.
Right.
I went to church till I was like 7, and that was just once in a blue moon, you know what I'm saying? So it was never ingrained in me that you have to believe in this, you have to whatever. So I just have always looked at the people around me, my mom and Scott, my dad, and they were just good people. They're nice, they're friendly, they never were like no negativity was spoken, you know, so that's just kind of what I grew into. So to me, I just always believe if I'm a good person, then I'm just good's gonna come to me. And I feel like, yes, I went through shit, but my life has always reflected that. Like, I've been a good person to, you know, if I feel like I'm done wrong, yes, I'm going to react, but I've always been good to the people that are around me. As far as like the crystals and kind of getting more in tune with that side of things, I think it was just more so accessibility. Like 6 years ago, I didn't know anything about crystals. I didn't even know that was an option to kind of like learn about and read about or whatever. So it really just had to do with me starting to see it or hear people talking about it. And I'm like, wait a minute, this kind of makes way more sense. Everybody else is talking about religion. That doesn't like really resonate with me.
So are you empathic?
Very much so.
Okay, me too.
Very much so.
Yeah, because I'm getting that you just kind of felt your way to that.
100%.
Okay.
Oh, like, I feel everything.
Yeah.
Even if somebody else is in pain, like, bro, I feel it in my gut. I'm very empathetic.
Almost to a flaw, like, for me as well. Like, I'm extremely empathetic to people, situations. Like, I will take that shit on anybody else's feelings and harbor that.
For sure. And I think that's why I feel like I've always been like one to try to fix people. Like, I'm like, you're going through something. Let me try to make myself uncomfortable to make you feel better, you know, and stay in those situations.
Yep.
But again, just growing and learning me and being more in tune with how I'm feeling and making sure that myself, my happiness is top tier, then that's my only goal. That's my only thing on the radar is me. Selfish or whatever you want to call it. If I'm not feeling right around you or I feel like, you know, then bye. So, yeah.
And, you know, I really feel like coming from Christianity, you know, it's not totally the worst, right? But in a sense, it's very much so a trained way of thinking, you know? And in the religion of Christianity, we are not taught to rely on our inner selves, you know? We are taught to rely on God and Jesus Christ for everything. And they say faith without works is dead and all of that, but still, we won't go in here to try to really feel like what the problem is. You want to just give it to God and just let it there, you know? And that's really not the healthy way. You know, I feel like it was definitely intentional, you know, for a mass of people to be able to be controlled, right? To go by a guideline that takes you away from your independent thinking. So when you are, in my opinion, and not even like trying to be in a negative way, when you grow up in Christianity, it's a lot harder to learn how to rely on.
I will say that is true. Yeah. I'm just learning now at this age. When you say religion, I got this from Jamar. He has the label relationship of religion. It is 100% my relationship with God over religion, over structure, going to church I know how I feel about God. I know my relation with God, and that is what I depend on. It's not even about being a Christian. It's about having my relationship with God, and God is in you. God is in the God in me. That's me talking to myself. When I'm talking to myself, that's God speaking to me through me. That's the God in me that I am listening to, that is providing my self-work.
Right.
I will agree there's a lot of Christians that solely rely on God. But God is in you.
Yeah, it takes for you to get to a certain level for you to comprehend that.
I literally just comprehended that because everything I gave was to God, and I never spoke it to myself, as in not so much manifesting, but speaking it out loud and believing it, because I know that's God believes in me.
Yeah.
So I'm going to believe in myself because he gave it to me to do.
Right.
It's not even about the structure. Religion.
And that's what it's about.
Yeah.
You know,
it's 100% about me and my relationship with God, and more importantly, my relationship with myself.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think and that's where a lot of, not to go too far off the subject, but a lot of confusion comes in that until you get to that level, you know, and we're basically saying the same exact thing. I'm going off of the inner voice. You're going off the inner voice. Like you're not really thinking too much into it. If you feel drawn towards something, you kind of just move. It's the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Like
you don't just get a hunch.
I truly believe that God is the most infinite vibration that could have ever existed in this universe.
Yeah.
And so infinite that he was vibration, so naturally he created matter, because we know the law of physics. You know, they say that sound creates vibration. Vibration creates matter. When sound comes out, things take shape, and that is, we have scientific physical proof. And then the Bible said God spoke, sound, same thing, sound came out and created the earth in 7 days. It's the same exact thing, you know. So with that being said, we understand that God was a vibration
for 100%.
The infinite, that number one, you know what I'm saying? And once you grasp that comprehension, it's like, oh shit, I'm a vibration too.
For real. Like, even when people are iffy about Christ, like, I believe in God, but Christ, I don't really know about. I'm like, you have to understand, Christ was a man born of God that believed he can do anything. So it wasn't necessarily him healing people. He believed that he can do these things. So he walked the earth and he did it because of what God instilled in him.
Yeah, I truly believe that several people were sent to the land to bring a massive healing to certain groups of people. There was certain people that was going to follow Yeshua. You know, I don't identify him as Jesus Christ. I identify him as who he is. It was certain people that followed Yeshua. It was people that followed Muhammad. It was people that followed Gandhi. You know what I'm saying? But all of them were delivering the same thing. You know, they were bringing a healing to a mass of people. They were delivering people from the low frequency of living and trying to bring them into a higher frequency of healing and light and positivity and love. Like, love is the equation to all of it. So all of us are seeking the same thing. Every religion is saying the same thing. They saying we need to be on this vibration of love in order for us to live a high frequency life, you know, and actually be happy. Like, not get up here and be miserable, but actually, like, success is true happiness within yourself.
100%.
You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
So
Definitely.
I just feel like it's just literally a separation with words, and that's it. And that is like the conflict with the world we have today. A lot of us are saying the same thing, but it's how we're saying it and the way we're choosing to say it.
But that's where the division
that
comes in.
creates
Because
division,
people aren't even gonna, like, the fact that you said that, I'm like, okay, like, that's what you identify him as, but I don't think there's nothing to beef about when it comes to what you believe and what they believe. I just feel like if we can, and I'm open to talk and understand anything.
The knowledge,
Like, that's how I've learned to even get this far. If I never open myself up to be vulnerable to new information, I'd still be stuck in this box that I go to church every Sunday.
There was a Hebrew Bible before there was a King James Bible. The first church was the Catholic Church. The very first church, and that church was run by the slave master, who took a picture of his son and put it on the wall and called him Jesus Christ, and depicted from the Hebrew version of the story that we had, and just took a few things in it to be able to control the people. You know what I'm saying? Because honestly, just think about it. How can you really control that many people? The only way you can control them is if you control them mentally.
course.
If they feel like that, if they don't serve God in this way, that they will be bound to this hell that they're never going to be able to get out of. This is the only way I can control you. So things had to be manipulated. His name was changed. His identity was changed.
Fear factor.
You know what I'm saying? And fear was instilled in people to make them follow it in this way. So the King James Bible is science. We know this. This was not the original book. This was not the original scribes. His name was not Jesus Christ. The ship that they brought slaves over here in was called Jesus Christ. It was written on the side of the ship. This was not who this man was. Okay.
Listen, not to cut you off, because you about to talk your shit.
Okay, yeah, I'm just being
and
honest.
I would have listened, and I would have
I'm
listened.
Look, I'm gonna be real with y'all. I went so far into Christianity, I became a minister. I had to take the classes and all.
I can see that, because look, you had me
to.
like I went again. I would sit here and listen to this all day, and that's why I think.
Oh, but we're not here for that, right?
Yeah, but that's why I want you to come back and talk about it.
I would love
and
to.
even though whether you followed or not, I feel like the message still connected, and that is truthfully self-healing, regardless of whether you're the abuser, the victim, whatever you are in the situation. Like, you need to figure out your purpose and your walk in life, and what brings you true peace and happiness. Period.
Absolutely.
That's my message.
Yeah.
As long as we are in a good space, like you ever notice when you feeling good, like all kind of good shit be happening
Oh,
to you.
for sure.
But when you feeling fucked up, like don't nothing work.
Like,
Bro, I'm gonna get in my car and that bitch ain't about to start.
Right. Your energy so strong, you done blew the goddamn battery out that motherfucker. Okay, you so mad, you know? Like, god damn, now this, like. But if you ever can just get on that frequency to get in a good feeling and be able to live in a way where you can stay in that good feeling,
Absolutely,
man, you can unlock anything.
100%.
Yeah.
The options are infinite.
Infinite.
Opportunities. That's what I should
I've
have
seen
said.
so
Do the
many
work on
magical
yourself.
things occur. Yeah,
Definitely.
So it's worth it.
So, where can people find you, follow you, what you shout your shit out for?
I am on Instagram at Building with Queen. All of the words are spelled as is. Snapchat at Lock Queendom.
Yes.
Oh, I got too many handles.
Nah, go ahead, drop them.
Okay, so
Drop 'em.
my business Instagram is at Lock Queendom LLC. It's LOC Queen DOM LLC. We are the first lock shop and the most valuable lock shop here in Wilmington.
It's crazy.
We service over 650 clients
It's
here.
crazy that I've seen that, and I'm like, I'm gonna go. I did not know that was your shit.
That's my shop, girl.
What?
Yes. That is
I've
my
even
shop,
sent that to
girl.
you when you were asking about locks, or
Did you?
yes, I did. That's crazy.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's my baby. I have 5 locticians there that I trained. One was my salon manager, Lisa, but who actually just became my business partner a couple of weeks ago. So she's now co-owner.
All type
Of
of
Lock
lock.
Queendom
Do
LLC.
you do attachments? People
I
be looking
specialize
for
in locks.
and starters.
I do. Well,
You
I
do
don't do
everything.
everything anymore.
Okay.
Most of the stuff I do is like restoration work, lock
Okay.
extension work.
Okay.
And I do be busting down like lock bath, retwisting styles here and there. But like I said, I got 5 staff trained.
Ooh.
So they do the starter locks and
Y'all hit her up, follow her,
Yeah.
reach
Lock
out to her,
Queendom.
schedule your appointment.
Building with Queen. Yeah. Straight up.
Yeah,
Facebook, Britney, Britney Anderson.
Anderson.
Yes.
Well, thank you for coming on.
I
I'm
appreciate
so
it.
grateful.
This
be
was
here.
such a good conversation.
really
Like
was.
I feel like again, I'm gonna float. I'm gonna levitate away. Like it was one of those conversations. You just feel good afterwards. Good interview.
It ain't always rain. You know what I'm saying? Like the storm does pass. My favorite saying to people, and I'm gonna leave y'all with this shit is temporary. And that's it. Like you gonna always get through.
Definitely.
Like long as you have that mindset, like I'm gonna get through this shit. You gonna get through that shit. And eventually
And believe
you get
it.
so good at it that it'll be second nature.
Believe it.
Believe it. Practice it.
Go ahead,
Yeah.
follow us, subscribe, TalkSpicyHER, all platforms, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. Hit that button.
Yeah.
Bye.
Peace,
Bye,
y'all.
y'all.
That same energy, teed up everywhere you remember me. Keep that same energy. 0 fucks for a bitch who ain't a friend of me. So sick, I need a lemon squeeze.